Good evening and welcome into the first episode of Golden Eagle Sports Report of the 2020-2021 school year.
Our show is going to look much different than in years past, but we are just as excited to bring you the best analysis and conversation on the biggest topics in sports. We are 6 feet apart and socially distant, so get ready, Marquette Nation, because Golden Eagle Sports Report starts right now.
Slam dunk! Oh, that's a poster.
Live from the Jeannie Hayes Virtual Studio at Marquette University, this is Golden Eagle Sports Report.
Marquette gets the rebound, and the champions have gone down!
Hello everyone, I'm Andrew Muzu.
And I'm Zoe Comerford.
Clearly there are no fall sports happening on campus right now, so our focus will have to turn to the entire world of sports. But that doesn't mean we won't keep you overly updated on everything happening in Marquette athletics.
This year on GESR, we are going to be talking about a variety of topics across the entire spectrum of sports, both on and off the field.
With the absence of sports for several months due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, many were left with a void that would usually be filled by screaming crowds, clutch plays, and incredible feats of athleticism.
Instead, the time off gave athletes and other people involved an opportunity to shed light on issues that have plagued our country for far too long.
The world witnessed professional athletes use their platform to raise awareness on these issues by marching, protesting, and even postponing games.
To bring it closer to home, just a week and a half ago, Marquette student athletes took to the streets of campus to march for social justice. Shane Hogan was on hand to capture this moment.
Things are bigger than sports. And sometimes, in order to seek the change you want, you must act. That is exactly what Marquette student athletes did on Friday, September 4th. They took to the streets of campus to show unity and a demand for justice. However, the work is still not done.
I'm happy, but I'm not satisfied. I feel like there's next steps that we need to take. This was kind of just my first opportunity to get people together, show that we can get the numbers, show that we can do this, and there's still a lot we have to work on and a lot we have to correct.
This march included coaches and athletes from each sport, faculty members, and students. It was put together by the student athletes following negotiations between Marquette's administration and the Black Student Council for real, concrete change. Like that. The march started outside of the AHPRC and concluded at Valley Fields, where athletes such as Samir Torrance shared their thoughts.
I am tired of seeing unarmed black and brown people mistreated by the hands of the police. Why should the color of my skin determine my destiny instead of my education, experience, and diplomacy?
Fellow basketball player Greg Elliott wants to use his platform to speak out and create change.
Me personally, I would say using my platform just not to be quiet, Right now, majority of the time, the stereotype of athletes is just to shut up and dribble or do whatever your sport is. We just breaking that stereotype, going against the barriers. We trying to reach out. We want to speak on what we see going on and that is unfair and unjust.
The work may not be over, but Elliott knows he's making a difference.
That's great to know that I'm making a difference outside of basketball. I came here because I was pretty good at the game of basketball, so to see that I'm evolving on the court and as well as a man in life is amazing. I'm sure my grandparents and my great-grandparents would be happy to see what I'm doing right now.
From Valley Fields, Shane Hogan, Marquette Wire Sports.
And Zoe, I was there for it, and man, what a great moment in Marquette history, in my opinion. It was just great to see all the athletes, students, faculty, and staff come together for this, big moment.
For sure, Andrew, and I was watching it from my apartment, and I think it's just really cool to see these athletes using their platform to truly stand as one, and as Marquette says, be the difference.
Be the difference. So this march wasn't the first time Marquette student athletes used their platform for activism this year. Basketball players like Theo John, Kobe McEwen, Samir Torrance, and other men's and women's players were outspoken on their personal social media accounts, encouraging others to stand up and get involved.
Senior Theo John was also a part of the Black Student Council negotiations with Marquette administrators, which resulted in significant changes such as 40 full tuition 4-year scholarships for Milwaukee seniors, the hiring of the first Black counselor for student support, and a fundraising campaign for Black Student Cultural Center on campus, among many more.
And when we come back, we'll be recapping some exciting events from over the summer with reporter John Leuzzi. Golden Eagle Sports Report. We'll be right back.
This is the story of a boy who is very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help, and slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Oh, look, a redhead. Staring contest. You still got it. I know.
Come alive with the forest.
The dad was cute.
They were looking right at us.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Welcome back to Golden Eagle Sports Report. Once again, I'm Andrew Muzu.
And I'm Zoe Comerford.
Now it's time to turn our attention to some exciting developments involving some notable Marquette basketball alums.
Last week, Joe Chapman and former teammate and now business partner Travis Diener broke ground at their site for a new sports complex.
The complex will be home to dozens of AAU basketball programs, including the Chapman Basketball Academy, plus much more. Shane Hogan caught up with Chapman and Diener last week.
Yeah, I mean, it's just an opportunity for kids. You know, when I was little, you know, I used to go to the YMCA and the YMCA in Fond du Lac and would be dropped off there and play there for hours. And this gives the parents a chance to drop them off. They can do their strength training. They can get nutritionary help. They can go, you know, play basketball, soccer, volleyball. So it's kind of like I said before, a one-stop shop for these kids. So we're awfully excited. Obviously, it's just the beginning stages. We'll be really much more excited once you know, March and April come around next year.
Yeah, I think it's important you know, to have that safe haven for kids with a lot of outside distractions going on, a lot of different things with a pandemic, social injustices and things of that nature that's going on. So it's always good to have a healthy distraction from the outside world, and that's what basketball did for us, and we're looking to make sure that the next generation have that as well.
Yeah, no, it's you know, through basketball you build these relationships and being a part of the team, and it lasts well beyond the 4 years at Marquette. And Joe and I have obviously played for 3 years together, but you know, in the recent 5-6 years we've gotten really close. And you know, I do a lot of stuff with Chapman Basketball Academy, and now it was a no-brainer, you know, in starting this complex to have, you know, Chapman Basketball Academy in there, you know, with the amount of kids that he has, with the integrity that he holds his academy to, it's a home run for all parties.
The atmosphere is one of the reasons why we came to Marquette. It's almost 20 years now into our Final Four, and he's been a really good friend of mine since then. So to reconnect with him, but also to coming off TBT and coaching them for 3 years and having that momentum of that, now it's great to bring that here into the environment and into the situation where we live.
With that, we now want to welcome in one of our correspondents, John Leuzzi. Thanks for coming on the show, John.
It's great to be back, Zoe. It's been a while.
Yeah, it has. And, after seeing that video, it's pretty cool that two former teammates are now business partners for this new athlete performance sports complex. How do you think that is going to just bring together their bond even more?
I think this relationship Joe Chapman and Travis Diener has goes way back to before their days of that Final Four team in 2000, and then you see them now winning TBT this past year together, and just putting those two minds together, and then you also have Steve Becker right there, putting them to find a arena and a complex that's going to help future generations of basketball players, but even future athletes in all sports. I think it's going to be really tremendous and a big impact to the Milwaukee community.
Exactly, John. Something that Travis Diener was talking to us about was just how it's supposed to be a one-stop spot for all of the athletics. There's going to be basketball, volleyball. How is that going to better the Milwaukee community?
I think we just bring more sports together and bring more minds together, and sometimes you only have one sport in a complex. Today, now you're going to have multiple sports, like you said. Volleyball, lacrosse, soccer, are all going to be able to come to this state-of-the-art complex and work out. And it's never hard and never a bad thing when you can have multiple minds, different minds speak together.
For sure, John. And obviously, it's in Mequon, so it's just 15 minutes away from campus. How do you think there's going to be still a Marquette connection?
I think it's going to be a great connection for Marquette. You could be able to bring maybe even student athletes up there to Mequon and work out with the younger programs, maybe even practice there. If they don't have the availability at the Owl or one of their complexes here in Milwaukee, it's just you're able to use the community to their advantage.
Exactly, and Becker told me that it's not supposed to be ready till March 2021, but that's so exciting for athletes for the complex. And Travis Diener was also a part of something else with Joe Chapman this summer, but instead of business partners, they were a coach and player in the TBT tournament that took place in July. So kind of talk about that tournament. What did you think about it, and was it fun to have basketball back?
It was fun. It was the first tournament and the first game of action of sports that we saw in the 6 months of this pandemic, and just having basketball come back together and then showing that a bubble, a condensed bubble where you can just trust the players and the coaches to get the job done can work. It's been able to lead to what now we see at the bubble at professional levels. But the TBD, unbelievable tournament. It is so much fun. I think Elam Ending should come into NCAA. You have this point here, and you have to go there. So it's a lot of fun there. And then seeing Marquette win, you saw this team build up every single year of one step closer to winning that $1 million. They got that this year, and we're going to hear it in a little bit, but this team was the closest they've ever been in that 5-year run.
For sure, John. And they're close, even though not all players have gone to Marquette. Some of them went to other schools. But, John, you and Shane Hogan caught up with Travis after that tournament about where this ranks in his career. Let's take a look at what he had to say.
Because, obviously it's fresh. People remember it, but, going to the Final Four as a young kid, you don't really appreciate the moment as much as I appreciate what just happened. I'm more grateful of it, probably because I'm a little wiser, I'm older, and I know these moments aren't going to keep on going forever. I'm at the tail end of my career. So, I remember the Final Four, obviously, but I don't think I appreciated it at the time. I appreciate it now, but, and then getting drafted and accomplishing some great things overseas and winning some championship and now this, this is up there, to be able to represent Marquette in a smaller way than obviously when I played collegiately there, but to still put on the jersey, to give some people some positivity during a time when, there's a lot of negativity going on with the virus and, social inequalities and stuff like that. So to have live sports back and get back to some sort of normalcy, this meant a big deal to not just us, but I think to a lot of Marquette fans.
And obviously, John, Travis mentioned that it meant a lot to Marquette fans. Obviously, Marquette has such a big alumni community. How do you think that this win just brought them closer together?
I think in sports in general, and especially during a time that we're living through right now, is able to unite people. We talked about this in the spring journal last year. We talked to athletes and coaches back on when they arrived to campus now. How can sports unite people during this really challenging time with the pandemic and then social injustice? And that's exactly what this thing and this tournament and the win that Marquette did in TBD was able to bring all different eras of Marquette basketball, fan bases and all, and throughout the country together to enjoy a first championship in a really long time, but the first championship since last summer in all sports in general.
For sure, John. And I know both Travis and Joe were talking to me about how this team has evolved because they lost in the finals last year and they came back, and this year they were like, 2020, we are going to win this tournament. You know, and Travis also talked about what this win meant for him and how important it is to represent Marquette. Let's take a listen to that.
And the thing is this was watched by so many people. You know, I was in the grocery store today, and the lady behind that was checking me out asked if I was the guy that played on the Marquette team that was just playing, and if I was the guy that made the shot. And she was, you know, I was like, yeah, that was me. And she's like, well, my son was going wild over that. And I'm thinking to myself, you know, I'll be known more for this than probably anything I ever accomplished in my career. But it means a lot. Marquette has always meant a lot to me. I think I learned a lot going to school at Marquette. I think the values and beliefs I carry with me today, and I think it's springboarded me into having a great career professionally. So, you know, to represent Marquette and put on that jersey one more time, means the world to me, and it gives my chance. It gives a chance for my kids to watch me and with that jersey on as well.
And Travis mentioned his kids watching him, and he put away that corner three for the win. And John, let's talk about that and Elam ending a little bit.
That corner three was set up so perfectly for Travis Diener, and he's the godfather of this team. He's one of the oldest players on the team. He has so much maturity, so much knowledge of the game of basketball. Played Division I here at Marquette, played professionally in the NBA, went play overseas, and now he's back playing in an alumni team, and that was shown here. So him showing his representation of Marquette, putting that jersey back on, lacing up the cleats, while also managing an ankle injury, he gave his entire self to this team. And I think that's really what led this team together, made them really close, because they saw their leader, their captain, fight through an injury so they can get that win because of how they knew how last year went in that loss.
Not only Travis, though, John, I really think that Joe Chapman played a huge role in this as well. I mean, he's coming in as the new coach. I mean, he had played on the team, he has the experience, and he had the Chapman Basketball Academy as well. Yeah, I think just he has a real great balance of everything, of playing with these guys, and then now he's obviously having the Chapman Basketball Academy, so he knows how to coach in high-level situations. And TBD, I don't know about you, Zoe, but it's really competitive no matter what. These are guys just playing pickup basketball for the fun of it and representing their schools, but they take it really serious, and you can see that when you're watching the games on ESPN. And I think that's what made it really fun for me this year, because regardless of the game, regardless of the seeding of the game the teams were playing, it was competitive down to the very last minute where that Elam ending came. And John, they're competitive because they used to be former college basketball, and they're not able to do that anymore at a high level, and they're trying to win it all. And that's exactly what Marquette basketball did in the alumni team in that TBT tournament. But between the new sports complex and playing in the TBT, Diner and Chapman clearly have taken pride in giving back to the Marquette community. How do you think their efforts are going to affect future alums who might want to give back as well? I think that you can use this as an example for Marquette basketball, talking about trust and love and giving back to the future generations of the program that gave you so much. And Travis talked about it in that interview when I was with Shane Hogan over the summer, and he's saying basically you're talking about giving back knowledge, and I think that's what he did with this tournament itself with the younger guys on this team, but to show this is how we want to give back to the university. And Travis did it himself professionally. He came back here, director of player development for a couple years on Coach Wojciechowski's staff, and then he went back on to play more professionally. But that's how these kind of players can give back to an organization and a program that made them live their childhood dream of playing collegiately. Exactly, and I think definitely this sports complex with both Chapman and Diner is going to be great because it's so close to campus and they have that Marquette connection. Well, thanks, John, for all of your insights. It's time for another short break. When we come back, we'll be debuting a new segment here on GESR, so don't go anywhere.
Sometimes the things we do or say can make others feel hurt, excluded, or isolated. Everything you say and do creates an impact.
How am I supposed to save the whole world?
You can't think about saving the world. You have to think about saving one person.
Because of you, someone's entire life can change. You don't have to be a superhero to have a positive impact.
Friends?
Friends.
Action!
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread and kissed them all soundly and put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
Touchdown! Oh, did you see that? Whoa, we scored? Yeah, we scored. We're going to the playoffs. I can't believe I missed that. Every time I'm buzzed, I spend too much time on my phone. What? I should take your phone away. No. I'll call for a ride. Hey, why does my face look like that? I'm playing with these new face filters. Okay, you know what? Yep, that's mine. I'm gonna need that back. No. Kevin!
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Leah, did you put a new dent in that?
This one? No.
Were you texting and driving again?
Yes.
Hi, Leah.
Hi, Dad.
Sorry about your bumper.
Welcome back to Golden Eagle Sports Report. It is time to introduce a new segment on the show where we will discuss the biggest topics in sports and provide some in-depth analysis and conversation. Joining me on our first panel is Matt Yazel, Nick Galley, and Molly Gretzlock, each of them bringing interesting perspectives, and I'm excited to get started. So guys, thank you for coming on the show.
It's good to be here.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, great to be here. We're back at it. Let's get going.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And our very first topic tonight is the Black Lives Matter movement in pro sports. And when we usually think about that, we think of the NBA, but there have been other leagues and athletes taking a stand. Notably Naomi Osaka in the U.S. Open, the world of soccer and football. So tell me about your biggest takeaways from the Black Lives Matter movement in sports.
Yeah, well, the NBA has definitely been a leader in the movement, but these athletes are realizing how big their platform is, particularly during this time where a lot of people are at home. They've been itching for sports to come back, and it's been great to see. Really, they're pushing their message. They're fighting for the right things, and sports in the past have been looked to just as a distraction and nothing else, but now they're being looked at as more than that, and I think that's a great thing for both sports and just for humanity as well, really.
Yeah, and I agree. They have the platform to make a difference and have their voices be heard, and it's definitely good that they're taking advantage of that opportunity, especially now that sports are back and everyone wants to watch them. So it's nice that they can put in a few words, get everybody aware of everything going on.
Right.
Yeah, I think the best part about it for me personally is just kind of seeing that athletes are real humans here, because I think a lot of people forget about that a lot of people just see their favorite players go out on the court and just watch the game. But these are real guys. These are real players with real emotions. And I think you really have gotten that feeling from watching these, these protests and these shows of, equality from every player across every league. So I think it's been great, and I hope to see more of it in the future here, and I'm sure we will, as some sports, come to their playoffs and as the NFL season goes along. So it's definitely going to be real interesting, real great to see.
Yeah, some big things happening. And now switching gears just a little bit, the Milwaukee Bucks were the first team to postpone their playoff game against the Orlando Magic, forcing the hand of many other teams and leagues to follow. And guys, for the second straight year, the best team in the NBA falls short of going to the NBA Finals. Guys, what's going on with the Milwaukee Bucks?
Let me start off because I know everyone loves my Bucks takes. There's no doubt about it. Because, they're just not a good team. If you guys could hang banners, if the Bucks could hang banners, it'd be best regular season team up in the rafters there, that's what they've been doing. They've been having great regular seasons, and then they just can't finish in the playoffs. And Giannis, I know he's great. I know, the city of Milwaukee loves him.
Back-to-back MVP. Don't forget that.
I didn't hear anything about that, but I don't know. He just can't finish. He's not clutch. I don't think he doesn't have that gene. And I don't know. A lot of people say it's the supporting cast. I don't know if it's the supporting cast. How much can you blame that supporting cast? You got Middleton. Bledsoe's all right. Bledsoe's all right. But you got him, Bledsoe, got a really good bench, and Giannis just can't come up. He looked really bad in that Miami series.
Well, I disagree with many of the things you just said. Giannis is, he's still an MVP, he's still a fantastic player. Right. And I think there is problems with the supporting cast. I think there was a lot of coaching problems as well. When your star player is playing 35 or less minutes in a playoff game that you're losing to, the number 5 seed, a team that you're supposed to beat, that's a problem. And when in the regular season, they're a team that has good depth. They can win a lot of games, and Giannis doesn't have to play 45 minutes a night. But in the playoffs, it needs to change. It needs to be different, and that's just not what happened. Coach Bud just stuck to his ways and didn't make adjustments, and that's just not what championship coaches need to do to win.
Losing to a 5 seed couldn't be me.
We'll see. We'll see.
I want to do it.
I'm sorry, I'm going to have to team up against you too.
I expected it, but I'm ready for it.
It's just a weird season. I'm just going to say that definitely probably impacted how they played.
True.
And they went to the bubble, just being isolated from everybody, not in a normal environment. And I think that just had to do with it, and it just wasn't their year. But they'll be back next year.
Feed me the bubble. I love the bubble. I love the bubble. It's amazing.
You spoke about the bench. When you have Marvin Williams and Kyle Korver coming off your bench, you can't really say you have a great bench. I'm sorry, it's the supporting cast.
You can't forget Patty McBucket's Connaughton.
Okay.
Are you kidding me?
Okay.
You're going to forget Pat Connaughton?
Oh, yeah, I didn't want to forget him. He was a key player to that team.
Absolute sniper in the corner.
I don't know about that. I don't know, because I know that they're eyeing some bigger free agents, Chris Paul, so making a trade there. So, Max Kellerman said on First Take, Giannis is like Shaq and he needs his Kobe. Chris Middleton is not Kobe Bryant, okay? No. So let's get that straight.
Against the Celtics he is. Dude averages like 60 points a game.
60 points a game.
And without Giannis, he stepped up, at least in Game 4. He did. And he has his games, but I think you're right. He's not a Shaq, or he's not a Kobe to a Shaq. I think he is a very good player. He's an all-star, and he belongs on this Bucks team. But I think another piece is definitely needed for them to change their playoff look.
Right. And I definitely agree with a lot of people saying that the Bucks made a big mistake in letting go of Malcolm Brogdon and keeping Eric Bledsoe. He's very inconsistent, Eric Bledsoe. I'm sorry, it's very hard to watch, especially DiVincenzo. That was just hard to watch the Milwaukee Bucks. And when you see Giannis go down, it's game over there. The Heat are a great team. Props to them. Jimmy Butler, Jay Crowder, former Marquette players. They're probably going to take down the Celtics. You would agree with me too.
I don't even want to get into that. So I don't even want to get into that. I got season 5. Let me just add that.
All right. Well, thank you guys for having us. Joining us. Well, that just about does it for us tonight. We hope you enjoyed our very first episode. Be sure to tune in next Tuesday. For Zoe Comerford, I'm Andrew Muzu. Good night, Marquette.